People, deluded, I'm back again. Arsenal's under 23's defeated their Blackburn counterparts 3-1. The only criticism I can have of our 23's is that we conceded 11 minutes before the game ended and we deserved a clean sheet, but it wasn't to be. But away from cherry picking, what can I say? It was a convincing performance yet again from our players. Before I talk about the attacking players, as you typically do when you play for a team like Arsenal, I give credit to Zach Medley, who scored and looked convincing. I felt both our fullbacks looked convincing, especially Swanson. Forgive me if I'm wrong. We just looked good all over the park, man, really and truly. And obviously defenders don't always get praised. We're missing a couple of players. Obviously, Ben Cottrell and a couple others are with a makeshift under-20 side at Arsenal. We've even got some under-16s away in Indonesia. I believe Bali specifically, playing in an international tournament. So there was a couple players that couldn't be called on generally, but not too many. We played superbly, in my opinion. We controlled the game first half. It was lovely to see. Typical Arsenal moves. We're enjoying the game. What I liked is we looked devastating on the counter-attack, man. Like, we really punished them. Two of the 3 goals were more or less counter-attacks. And forgive me if I'm wrong, Smith-Rowe was the assister. We played well. The first goal, Coyle scored, and Coyle's been fantastic this season. He's someone that, prior to becoming a scholar, was on everybody's radar, was doing quite well, gets called up on England international duty. Injuries have kind of stopped and halted his progress and whatnot, but he's fit, he's firing again, and he's got ability in each game. If he's not scoring, he's assisting, or he's having good general performances. I believe he's 18 turning 19, so he's coming into his own at the best crucial point of his career. And it's lovely to see, man. He's a player I really like. He's got technical ability, he can play simple, he can play long. He plays primarily on the flanks, and that's where I've seen him at Arsenal. But I potentially think he could be a number 10 because he picks up good positions. I got a lot of time for Coyle. So yeah. But to talk about that goal, I believe Coyle found the back of the net 20 odd minutes into the game. We countered Blackburn superbly. Emile dances past couple players. It's a break. It's actually a good break. It's a break at speed. He slots it over to Coyle, who's on the left hand side. He sorts his feet out and he slots it, I believe, into the keeper's far corner. We go 1-0 ahead and we deserve it. Like I said, we're playing good football. Fullbacks look up for it. Central midfielders are doing their thing. The Tyreses, the Coyles, these usual suspects, Emile, they're all up for it, people. They're doing their thing. It's a good Arsenal performance. Blackburn are chasing shadows. Now, Blackburn have a good academy and they've got good players, and they are showing when they are in possession they could potentially trouble us. And there were a couple of moments they broke and potentially should have done much better than they did. Apologies for the wind, people, but it came to no avail. Now, it was a lovely move that led to I believe a corner that led to Medley's goal. I can't remember specifically what sort of set piece situation it was, but either way it was a corner or a cross comes in. I believe, was it Tyrese hits the bar from across, or someone hits the bar from across. Medley sweeps up and the centre half gets a goal. A rarity for a defender. 2-0 in front now. We're good for it now. The key thing is, obviously, as you lot know, in football, especially for these young players, they need to learn 2-0 is a difficult situation. There's going to be some games, if they progress to first team, where, for me anyways, if we get 2, I'm always by instinct going to go for the third, people, because if it becomes 2-1, it becomes nervy. And if I'm the opposition, I'd rather lose 3-1 than 2-0. Do you get it? But at the same time, a couple of them are going to have to learn, okay, we're 2-0, we need to sit. This game management is stuff that's going to become more relevant as they get older, and has obviously become relevant since they've taking their first real strides to being a professional footballer, training and playing as full-time scholars or young pros at Arsenal. So we're 2-0 for the good. Tyrese is playing quite well, and the grass is green when he scores his ting, people, eventually. It's a lovely effort from Tyrese. Again, similar circumstances to Trey Coyle's goal. More or less the same positions being taken up. Again, we counter. A good move. It started from the centre-half, people. Not centre-half, the goalkeeper. He plays it. I can't remember if he gave it directly to Emile or if a centre-half passed it to him. But Emile drops deep. He picks up the ball again. We'll hit them on the break. He's doing it at pace. Other players are joining in with him and joining the ranks in an attacking sense. Tyrese has timed his run superbly. He gets played the ball in, and I believe he smacks that in with his weaker peg, his left foot. And he's had him and Balogun have had superb seasons, people. Obviously at Arsenal it's difficult when you got them two, you got Eddie, you got Lacazette and Aubameyang on the books. It's tough for any young striker. But I genuinely believe wholeheartedly that both Balogun and Tyrese are going to have great careers. And I'm a big fan of Tyrese John-Jules. He can play up front, he can play in a couple of positions. Who knows where he's going to end up long term. But the link-up play, his strength, his humbleness, because he's one of the best technical players, but it's like he doesn't care about that. If you're in the best position, he's going to try and play you. He's very unselfish, and especially for a young pro, you don't always see that. I really like him, and he's had a good season. Sadly, him and Balogun, like I said, have had picked up injuries and whatnot in their seasons, but they've been scoring goals for fun. And if we look back at the season at 23's level for goal of the season contender, Tyrese has got a couple of them. He's got this, there's another one I'm missing out. I'm sure he scored from long range. And you've got my favourite of his this season, where he did the acrobatic finish at the Emirates against, was it Leicester? I could be wrong. But enough of waxing lyrical about Tyrese John-Jules. Clearly I'm a good fan, a big fan of Tyrese. But either way, it's almost an identical goal, our third to our second, or whenever it came. Blackburn point of view, you put your hand in the fire once, you should learn not to get burnt the second time. And they've, like I said, from a coaching perspective, their coach should be going ballistic because they've not learnt from their mistakes. Blackburn can't deal with how we're playing. I think we look up for it, but they definitely can't deal with the counter. And there were some situations we definitely should have got a couple of other goals, people. We conceded a goal, like I said, 11 minutes from time in the second half with, I believe, Chapman scored. Again, we deserved a clean sheet. I felt our performance played like that. Potentially a bit of complacency and self-inflicting mistakes are costing us. And I would say clean sheets, similar to the first team, when I look at 23's level, if it's not necessarily clean sheets, we're conceding late goals and they need to cut a lot of that out. But what can I say? It was a great performance from all the boys involved, man. Tyrese did well. Coyle keeps playing well and proving people that he's someone that you shouldn't be forgetting about. And yeah, man, it was a convincing performance from our team. Who we play next, I am not sure. But considering we played well against Villarreal last week, we played in the International Cup, we've taken care of the business, obviously, against Blackburn. We should be fit and firing, full of confidence. And a couple of these boys, specifically Tyrese John-Jules and Emil Mavropanos, just generally this season, potentially shouldn't be playing at this level, not really going to develop playing at this level, because you look at Tyrese, he scored a goal for fun. He needs to play against some grown men centre-halves where if he tries something, he might get a clamp. Do you get? Where he's going to have to change his approach from game to game. Do you get where I'm coming from? Emil, for him, similar to Mavropanos and a sad theme from a lot of our youngsters, he's just got to stay fit. Potentially there's a case to go out on loan in January, similar to last season where he was injured, it didn't work out at Leipzig, and go and play football, if that's not going to happen here, people. Medley as well. Like Medley, I like Medley, but I don't think he's going to make it at Arsenal. But if he is going to, I'd love to be proven wrong, and I like him. But if he is going to progress as a centre-half anyways, I believe he needs to play against grown men, because I don't believe he necessarily thinks like a defender first. And you'd be in for a culture shock if you do some of the certain things at academy levels. When you're playing against grown men, mortgages on the line, clubs can literally go bust or keep afloat because of relegation or staying in leagues, people. But in regards to the Blackburn game, you can only play what's in front of you. Great performance from our lads. And yeah, I'll be here to review our next fixture, but it is what it is, man. On that note, people, Deluded, I'm out. Thank you for supporting and watching and whatnot. I'm out.